I am so happy. After months of waiting, I am finally able to get around to doing some album reactions. The summer for me is super busy, so it takes up a lot of my time doing gigs myself, and especially this year because it's been like a catch-up thing. So I haven't been able to focus on doing as many album reactions as I've wanted to, but finally we are here to listen to Halsey's record, If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power. I am so excited for this, and I just can't wait to listen to the rest of this record. I've saved it. I've saved so many albums. I am deprived, and I'm just so excited to see what my favourite song is going to be. See if you agree with me. Let's just uncover what's going on musically, lyrically, and everything. Okay, here we go. Finally. Okay, so this first one's called The Tradition, which is quite an interesting title. Couldn't remember the word for title. Oh, piano starting. Okay. Very pretty.
Oh, the loneliest girl in town for pennies a price.
Instantly we've got a folky vibe going on. Also, she broke up that phrase with the breath in the centre, which to me is like, oh, no, try and do the whole phrase in one breath. But it's interesting. I feel like she did that on purpose, almost to emphasise a kind of live feel, maybe. Very dissonant.
All she does is cry.
That section, that's where we get that real clashing, the dissonance, the jarring sensation. Straight off the bat, she's making us feel uncomfortable in the tradition.
So take what you want,
oh,
take what you
layers,
can,
layers,
take
layers.
what you please, don't give a damn, never permission.
Okay, so here we're getting the bassiness from the depths of the piano, but also the strings coming in there.
What you want, take what you can, it's in the
There's a cry in her vocal.
This is tradition.
Just because it's tradition doesn't mean it should be so.
Take what you can,
Again, the
take
jarring
what you
sensation
please,
continues, but it's in the blood. That makes me think Tori Amos. Da, 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 da. The whole thing about that to me was Tori Amos. Very upfront vocal delivery. This is catchy even though it's jarring. Take what you can. I love that bend down. Oh, background vocals. Very interesting start to a record, isn't it? Whoo! The cello there, wow. And a single, I couldn't work out what that was, but single at the end. Oh, we're going straight into Bells in Santa Fe, okay. Oh, totally different approach. Up-tempo track? Maybe.
Don't call me by my name.
Okay, so we've got this, but the bass is like, which gives us a synthy, space-like feel.
All of this is temporary.
Almost like trance choice instrumentation.
Hold you in the dark. You won't even notice me depart.
Oh, I'm so glad she did that. Okay, so when she did that first phrase, you won't even hold me in the dark, I was thinking, oh, do it again, but this time go up further. And she did. Yes, this is good writing to me because you can semi-predict it, and so it's instantly catchy. Ooh. 80s synth there. A lot of kind of... drums. No drums yet. No drums on this record yet. Okay, so now the dynamic has slightly changed, a little bit more of a push, and also we've got the vocal layers occurring, so everything feels a little bit more beefed up. Lovely delay on her vocal as well. I love all those delicate higher frequencies coming through. Ooh, little major scale. Ooh, lovely. Oh, the layers. Ooh. That's interesting, isn't it? Almost feels like we're going to go into drum and bass or something. I wonder if this will go straight into the next track, Easier Than Lying. Makes me want to move like this. This is great so far. I'm having a good time. Wow, the distortion. Yes, straight in, straight in. So cool. And I feel like every track that we're going through suddenly has a bit of a rise in terms of tempo and in franticness. Again, emphasis on the live feel with these drums. Okay, a bit more rocky here. Again, the dissonance. This is a theme. I like that she's taken an idea and she's really gone for that idea. Everything's quite experimental, but feels like it sits in its own lane. Myself. This is much more rocky, much more punky. Actually, it makes me think of that Foo Fighters song. What if I said I'm not like the others? Super, like, actually the mix of this is really weirdly back. It's sitting back. I don't know if that's just because of my speakers or... No, this mix is sitting back. Do you know what I mean? Everything's... The vocal feels like it's the back of the room, you know? Fall to the floor. Why? Oh, lie. So many drum fills. How's this gonna end? Big stop? Yeah. How did I know it was gonna do that? It felt like it. Again, good writing. You can semi-predict what's going to happen. And so when it does happen, you feel like, ah, yes, I feel fulfilled. Love it. Okay. Next up is Lilith, which is the name of my best friend's cat. So surely not inspired. Okay, so laid back. There's a... bit of a jazz influence here, but it's that bass movement, super loose but tight. Double track vocals. Distortion on the vocal. I've been corrupted. That obviously that lyric. That's the lyric she wants us to hear. I love the chord movements in this. This song's a vibe. I don't know if it's going to go into a post-chorus section, like a big kind of explosion. I don't know, something like that. But if I was in the studio writing this with her, that's kind of where I'd take it. But I understand if she sticks on this level and then just builds with this too. I am disgusting. These lyrics. I love how we just go into this section and there's no like crash cymbal, no warning that we're in the chorus. Here we are, it's just a movement, a vibe, this whole song. Vocoder. I love the way the vocals are moving here. No! I really wanted this one to go into a huge, but I can't like Halsey's big vocals, visceral cry and vocal growls. I wanted that. I hope that she does that in a live situation and just brings it home. Girl is a gun. Ooh. Killing my vibe. Oh, hello, drum and bass. So we had a bit of an introduction to that earlier, or a hint, and here it is. The vocal has been pushed back in the mix, and the main focus here is on the percussive element, the drum pattern. Ooh! Synth in the back. It's another chorus that's quite simple and flows from verse to chorus. We don't have these crazy changes in sections. It just moves forward, and here we are in the chorus, and then we're in the verse, and we're in the chorus. There's not like a smash type thing. It's just, here it is. It's catchy. Oh, oh, oh. I love them. This feels like it could be in a movie soundtrack. Yeah, something dystopian. Hey, maybe it's the soundtrack for now, our actual real life. Oh, okay, I love this. This gun is a gun. This is great. This music makes me want to sing, and that's what music should do. Touch my trigger. Touch my trigger. Great lyric. You asked for this. So now, back to kind of 70s rock sample feel. This is super different to our previous track. So we're really, I feel like we're on waves here, because we're touching upon certain genres, then we're pulling back, then we're touching upon other ones and pulling back, and then later on they come to the forefront. So it's really interesting listening. It's kind of pushing my ears. Lovely chord changes. This feels inspired by another track as well. It's that change that makes me think of something, and I can't remember what it is. Do you know what I'm talking about? So she's still keeping that kind of semi-dissonant thing going on, but the harmony underneath all of this is amazing. So now we're in this half-time thing. We've really explored a lot in this song. Even though it feels like a wall of sound, it's like, no, we've done a lot here, a lot of building. I feel like I'm underwater. Oh, it's over. So Darling continues the previous synth sound. What is this now? Halsey! What does this mean, if we follow my wave theory, that later on we're going to get another super acoustic-y song? Or are the tides turning? And from now on it'll be completely different, because this is just changing things up. Science. To be fair, this is quite folky, and our first track was quite folky, so I'm going to continue with my theory. Makes me think Plain White Tees vibes. She feels quite close to us, which I think is the appropriate thing for a track like this, where it's just guitar and vocal. See you in your dream, driving past a graveyard on a lonesome street. So this is this movement of dun da 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 da. So we constantly feel like we're falling forwards almost. And there's no harmony, there's no double tracking, it's literally just this pure one vocal. But then of course now there is the high vocal against. And it's interesting how that other vocal now is just gently carrying us forward towards the end. Oh, harmony. That's a lovely touch. Only you have shown me how to love being alive. Only you have shown me how to love being alive. Wow. So this is like a lullaby, it feels to me. Okay. 1 1 2 1. What does it mean? Back to our piano. I've got a body here to bury, but I won't die for love. So what has happened? I love this imagery that she's just struck up instantly in this song. The lovely. Okay, so that's the same synth sound that we had in that trancier track earlier. So that's great because we're getting these higher frequencies popping through, and again it just ties up the record. So here's our wave. Oh, again, underwater feel, submarine type synth. Die for love. So this is a classic songwriting thing where we have the verse down here, the verse melody down here, and then I will or won't die for love. So then we're going suddenly up, and I like that we have that on this record because we also have the interesting songs where she's just staying in the mids or just staying in the lows. So we've got this nice mix of all the different songwriting techniques. Ooh, that bass rising up, gorgeous. Call and response between herself. I'm sorry, what was that piano chord underneath? That is interesting that suddenly we have this completely different, hang on, let me find out what that actually is, one sec. Bum 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 bum. So she's in E major in the chord, I won't die for love. That's why it clashes, guys. She's in G major, it's in E major in the piano, and the clash is between the G and the G sharp. So in an E chord you have a G sharp, E major chord, and in a G chord, well, it starts on a normal G note, so you don't have that, so you get this real dissonance. Again, that theme coming up. Have my heart and I would break it for you. Really interesting song. In terms of the actual theory behind it. Oh, hello, back to this again. I don't know why I'm still surprised. I shouldn't be surprised anymore because she's taking us on this crazy mismatched journey of musical influences. Oh, I like this. Okay, so the vocal is relentless. And it matches with that drum pattern. This feels like very Halsey of old on this record. She's sweet like honey, but all I can taste is the blood in my mouth and the bitterness. I always feel Halsey is not afraid to really visually take us somewhere slightly disturbing. I love it when she does a there's an open hi-hat or a drum fill. Again, we've got these floaty high frequency synths. Back in there, is that delivery? Mine. That cry at the end of that vocal is great. The next track's called Whispers. I wonder if she will whisper vocal on this. I like that one. I like that one. Very delicate. Instantly we get that whispery feel because we've got that huge reverb vocal. So even the tail end of the reverb feels like a...
Scroll through your phone, getting high off the line. Numb in your chest when you close the blind. Sabotage the things you love the most.
More dissonance. The lyrics here are really interesting. That piano is very clunky. I like the do 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 on the bass that emphasizes those softer vocal parts. Oh. Oh. It's almost like she's been rapping through this whole thing, you know? And here the bass is more dun 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 dun. So we have the different rhythmical elements within the bass throughout this whole song that emphasizes certain parts. Is there a sitar in the back there? Or is it just the piano swelling? Okay, next up, I am not a woman, I'm a god. Love this. That's the dissonant thing. Does she say that I'm not a mother, I'm a problem? I don't know, I'm gonna have to go and look that up afterwards. I'm not a legend, I'm a fraud. I love that lyric. Performance of this on SNL, they had some organ pipes in the background and a red light that was kind of doing a dun 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 as she was singing, and I thought that was so cool, having the visual representation of the musical element. Oh my god, this is super dissonant as well, but so empty in terms of harmony, so it's just between those little synth parts. Here, all the layers up here, so good. Love it, and there's a real short delay because you can hear that da 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 right at the very end there. Very interesting song. Oh, okay. Distortion guitar. Here we go. Okay, so, I was cursed with rage. We're instantly into another rockier, live feeling song. We just flip back and forth between having these electronic things and the drum and bass element and the trance element, and then rock, live rock. More dissonance. I feel like I've said that word more times in this reaction than any other record I've ever listened to in my life. So what a theme, but really it's quite striking, isn't it? She doesn't want us to feel comfortable necessarily in listening to any of these songs. The distortion just creates this sound wave throughout, and the bass there, do 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 do, the way it falls down. What is happening now? Who is that singing? Is that Halsey? Sounds like there's a male vocal as well, maybe? She really loves these outros where we don't get a final chorus. It's just like, no, this is what you get now. It's kind of bending up, isn't it? Oh, sudden stop. Last song? What? I feel like, before we go into this last song, I want to discuss what my favourite parts of this record have been, and I think for me it's been the more trancey elements and some of the real interesting major chords that have been placed in some of these songs. I think possibly the first half of the album is my favourite, and I do think that it slightly changed after we hit Darling. So I think up until that point those are my favourite songs, although I do love I'm Not a Woman, I'm a God. I need to listen to the second half of this album again and just soak it in a little bit more. Yeah, those are my thoughts. But let's listen to this last song and see if it becomes a winner for me as well. And let me know what your favourites were in the comments box down below as you are watching this.
Undertones of sadness when I think about the moments that I never got to spend with you.
So this to me is again another delicate type vocal, but we have a different kind of guitar underneath. This isn't our acoustic guitar pattern. So it's like a mix of the two. The kind of folky element and the electric element. Loving, gravelly vocal. So here, just the bass guitar. She has such a lovely tone. I really hope that we get a lot of dynamic build within this. Kind of nasally quality there.
And if we don't live forever, before called inside my head instead of
yeah, here we're getting that more very Halsey type vocal. Storytelling ability, I like to think of it as, because she I don't know, it's very colourful and expressive, and she uses a lot of different abilities, I feel, to tell stories. Oh, there's a little guitar. Very delicate additions. Before I marry you. she's almost just shutting her mouth, you know? That delivery isn't like, right, let's get that you. No, everything's sinking back. You. Like she's just talking to someone. Oh. Okay, and then the tail end, and that's it. What an interesting way to end this record. I almost wanted it to end with a big kind of Halsey explosion of vocals and harmonies and as I say, I think the first half of the record is my favourite. If I'm Not a Woman, I'm a God was in the first half, it would definitely 100% be just the first half that I was like obsessed with. But I always find with records that the more I listen to them, the more I love and accept the ones that I initially didn't like as much. So that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm just going to put it on repeat and see what changes. What do I love that changes? Let me know what happens with you in repeat listening to this in the comments box down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please do hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, become part of our family here. Please do go and check out my own brand new music video in the description box down below too. I'll leave a link for the MV in there. And you can find links to all of my other music and my Patreon with lots of exclusive content and my Wisio where I can help you out with your singing and answer any questions you might have for me in the description box down below. And I'll see you again very soon for another, hopefully, album video now that I can actually dedicate some time to them. Okay, I love you. See you soon. Bye.